Okay, what's up, KGS Headmaster here. It's 2 o'clock, maybe, yeah, just 2:01. Just took me a second to kind of kick off. Drop me a hi if you're there and watching. Just thought today, the holidays, we try and do something a little bit different. So we're not doing regular daily updates, more of a kind of a chat, maybe a bit more interactive. So slightly more casual look, as you can see. Not got the shirt and tie on today. This is the kind of holiday look, but try to keep it up to a certain standard. You'll also see, apart from me, that we are in fact in the den. So here we are. We've got yeah, the kind of books I like to kind of look at over there. One of my favorite authors, John le Carre, kind of features prominently. A few things I've kind of built. There's a kind of reclaimed British Railways parcel shelf up there going on. Just one of those things you like to get hold of. I don't know why. Who knows why we're interested in these things. There's the decks where we play the vinyl. Love the vinyl. That's probably time for another Q&A. So I think books might be another topic. Vinyl might be another topic. We can probably park all the chocolate biscuit stuff for now. But today we're here to talk about FIFA Ultimate Team, that kind of stuff. So I'm going to watch for things coming through. I've got the kind of phone, so if things come through on Twitter or Instagram, if I can post anything, I'll do that. But also, if I need to check on my squads, but just post a comment if you want to ask a particular question. I thought we'd kick off by just talking about my journey into football games. Why is someone of my age, my kind of, I guess, my position, why am I playing kind of gaming, kind of FIFA and similar things online? And you know, how that background came about, and what are my main do's and don'ts in terms of FIFA and FIFA Ultimate Team and games like that. Firstly, the journey. Hi Ben, how are you? Do I play Call of Duty Warzone? I do play Call of Duty. I've not dipped extensively into the world of Warzone. Just want to pick up that question while it's live. But today we're going to talk particularly about FIFA, but I can take questions on other games and anything else as well. Why not? We'll just have a chat. We're here for a little bit. This is completely an experiment. I have to tell you, I'm slightly nervous about doing this. So the more interaction there is, more the questions I get, the better. And I'm going to come on to one of Marco's questions in a second. So young, playing loads of football, loads of other sport, loads of cricket, and every now and again, when it was a rainy day, the kind of first computers got introduced: Amstrads, Sinclairs, Commodore 64s, and a friend introduced me to a game called The Boss, which was like an early version of Championship Manager, which then turned into Championship Manager, which then turned into Football Manager. And those games were great, but as they got more detailed in terms of all the stats, you found you couldn't play it unless you were playing it for hours on end and really got into it, and people still do. And other games came along: Sensible Soccer, then PES, and then eventually EA Sports FIFA. And we'd all played EA Sports, I think, hockey, EA Sports Madden, just as things to do with friends. And then FIFA kind of came along, and it was a nice quick win, really. You could just get into it, play a game, dip out. And then FIFA Ultimate Team came along. And anybody who's seen my Ultimate Team will know that it was created in about 2016, but I didn't really play it. I just went into it because it was the students in my economics class who said, you've got to try this. This is great. NBA, yes, Alex, that was another one. That was great. Learning how to slam dunk in that. Sensible Soccer was the greatest. Absolutely there. That was an amazing game. But I created this team off the back of an economics class telling me you must get into Ultimate Team, talking about chemistry styles, talking about player adapting positions, putting together squads, trading. I looked at it and I thought, nah, I'm just going to go back just to kind of playing the game. And I love career mode. Career mode was always a favorite. I always headed up either manager of Crystal Palace, my favorite team, you know, very close to my heart. Or I would try and take a faded giant, someone like Leeds or Manchester United. Sorry, no offense to Man U fans out there. I'm sure they'll come back strong one day. Or a team from the lower leagues and try and take them all the way through. I think it's Gianni Sports on YouTube does that these days. He takes people from the lower leagues, tries to take them through. So that was my journey into doing that. And then I think 2 years ago, at the back end of the season, I was just a little bit bored with career mode. And I went back into Ultimate Team and I thought, actually, this has got something to it. And actually, if I get into something, I really get into it. I want to learn all about it, how it works. So I got into a bit of the trading, started to learn about what sniping was, how you do that, how you put up a good squad, how you do SBCs, and getting into all the lingo of the whole thing. And career mode is easily the greatest of all time, the GOAT, Tom. It is. I love career mode, particularly if you take, you know, as a team from the lower leagues or a kind of a faded giant. So do a road to Division One. I suppose I could. I need a bit of training on how to actually take my FIFA game and put it online for you guys to see, which I'd be very happy to do with some games. I've been able to kind of share video clips and kind of stills, but I'm not sure how to put commentary on them without just giving you the FIFA commentary. Maybe I need to get a microphone involved. I'm not sure. So I've got some questions coming in, and I'm going to kind of come back on those in a minute. But the other thing I want to say is just put out there my real do's and don'ts. Personally, don't get involved in weekend league. It just drives you crazy trying to get those 11 wins to get into next week's weekend league. You're better off just sticking to squad battles, play your rivals, do all the challenges you can. And that comes down to, again, allowing yourself like an hour, maybe two, and thinking in an hour, I can play through maybe 4 games. Particularly if someone rage quits against me, I can get more games in. And in terms of rage quits, never rage quit. I've been beaten 6-7-0, probably never more badly than that. I think probably 7-1 might be my worst result, maybe 7-0. Never quit. If someone's better than you, let them be better than you. There's nothing more frustrating than being better than someone else and them kind of quitting on you when you're only 2-0 up, thinking, actually, if you just stay with the game, you'd have probably beaten me. But never mind. They disappear, so that's fine. So never rage quit. Personally, don't play weekend league. I know for some people it's the GOAT, but it really isn't for me. It just drives you crazy. Do rivals. Now, rivals, I hover around 7, 8, 9. If I ever drop into 10, which I haven't done for a while, I'm kind of like really embarrassed. And if I ever go up to 6, I get scared. So 7, 8, 9. And this probably comes down to my first bit of advice for FIFA in terms of how they could manage the game better. When you get really good challenges coming along, people deliberately drop down divisions. They quit. They deliberately lose. They do all kinds of silly things to drop down divisions so they can then do these challenges really easily. I think FIFA ought to have a thing that actually, once you're up to a certain division, you can only ping pong between the division above and the division below. So say me, I'm a Division 8 player. If I can go 7, 8, 9, fine. But if I try and drop down to 10, they should stop me. But if I go up ever to 6, 5, 4, they should say, right, you're now kind of your 4, 5, 6. Those are your 3 divisions. And you can't drop lower than 6. Maybe next year you could, but not this season because you're just ruining the game for everyone else. Really good players who come up with really strange teams, and you think, I'm going to beat this, and they're just actually too good. So we ought not to allow that to happen. Where's the Minecraft? Let's play it now. The interesting thing is, in the den at the moment, my PS4 is not up here because my daughter loves Minecraft and Roblox, and I totally get all that stuff. It's not for me. And so I've taken the PlayStation downstairs so she can do that. We've still got a Nintendo Wii. That's our kind of retro gaming. We love all that. But I think, yeah, just having it downstairs was good. So I can't show you any gameplay up here at the moment. But as I say, I've got a lot of things. My highest rated player at the moment is a 92. So, I mean, I've got a 99 Ronaldo on loan. And there are lots of other 97, 98s, 99s, all on loan. You can get those loans quite easily. I picked up the George Best on loan. I picked up the Roy Keane on loan. You can get all these loan players. But the actual highest player I've got is probably the Modric 92. And there's lots of other 92s knocking around as well. There are lots of 91s and 90s. So I've got the Hummels, the De Geas, the Neuers, all the kind of special cards. So, Alfie, thank you for that question. Let's see the ultimate team. So my 190, my kind of top squad, maybe I'll just kind of talk you through it. I might be able to show it at the screen. This is the balance. I've got Neuer in goal, obviously the special 92. My centre backs are Hummels 91 special card and David Luiz 90. My left back, because it's brilliant, I had got him from the first icon swaps, Roberto Carlos, the 86 rated. But then my right back, Piszczek, another special card from the Bundesliga. And then Hummels and Piszczek, they link with Essien in midfield, who was my icon swaps from the second round. Had to save up all the way to the end. I recommend don't save up all the way to the end on this season or next season, because by the time you get to 23, 24 icon swaps, season's going to be over. Just take what you can get for 12 or maybe fewer this time. Do a prime icon pack, something like that. Centre midfield, I've got the brand new FUT birthday Mesut Ozil, who's phenomenal. I'm not an Arsenal fan, but his screen card, his 87 was phenomenal. This is even better. And I've got Kimmich. I've got his right back, but I've also got his centre mid, defensive mid special cards. I've got that. Left midfield, player, Sane, amazing, 91 rated. Aubameyang, I've had since the start. The player of the month, Aubameyang, who a lot of people said, too expensive, not going to get it. Look at the pace, look at the finishing. He's 89 rated. I like Vardy. I got Vardy as well. Vardy was really cheap. He was 86 rated, gone up to 87 now. And then right midfield, I kind of switch between The kind of the James kid from Man U who's flying. So with him and Sane, it's amazing. So I play a 4-3-3, but then in-game adapt that to a 4-2-2-2 or a 4-2-3-1. So what's my record, Rory? Oh gosh, now you're asking. So my record is, let me see, in terms of games, this season. So I've won over 600, drawn fewer than 100, so 80 something, and I've lost about 240, nearly 250 games. So I'm kind of, kind of like, I try and play hard. I could play easier games and win lots more, but I try and play hard. Wii boxing, Ben. Yeah, I like a bit of Wii boxing. Favorite foot card from previous FIFAs? That's a tough one. I'll come back to that. Okay, so who else we got on here? What else are we asking? Am I doing a pack opening today, Danny? I could probably put a pack opening on something like Instagram, something like that would be great. Other do's and don'ts. Do trade, do snipe, but don't spend hours trying to build up coins. It's ridiculous. Just playing the game. I think I've got 1.4, maybe nearly 1.5 million coins, and that's just from playing and trading and just opening packs. Always get untradeable packs from your rivals. Always play your rivals. Get up to kind of Div 1, Div 2. Ranking 1, rank 2. Not Div. I'd never be Div 1 or 2. Always do your squad battles. Get to at least gold 1. It's quite easy. The best FIFA. How much have I spent? Now, that's an important don't, Rory. Don't spend a penny. Buy the game. Never spend money on packs. Every stream will tell you this. Run Foot Market, and Nick at Run Foot Market, Nepenthes, all these people we respect, Elite over in the States, all these great guys, and there's lots of others as well. I've mentioned Johnny Sports already. Don't buy any packs. Don't give them any more money. And you can do it just by doing basic SBCs. If an SBC comes along, it's 1 million coins, don't do it. But when someone like, said Vardy earlier on comes along, about 20, 30,000, do it. At the moment, who's the best value one at the moment? Aaron Ramsey's just come on. Aaron Ramsey's kind of started off about 130,000. It's probably crept up to about 150 now. That will probably creep down. I don't know, because it's only available for like 3 or 4 more days. But 130 to 150,000 coins, do it. He's a 90 rated midfielder. Stick the right chemistry on him. He's absolutely phenomenal. You don't need to do the Messis. You don't need to plug into Ronaldo. I've got a friend who sold his entire FIFA thing just to buy Ronaldo. And then just after he did it, he packed an untradeable Ronaldo, the same one he just bought. And he tried to sell the other one and the price had dropped because everyone was packing Ronaldo. Don't do it. Don't plug loads of money in. I spent absolutely, Rory, I've got 1.5 million and I've spent absolutely no money other than kind of buying the game in the first place. Promise that. He do be spitting straight facts, Tom. Yeah, I'm not lying. That's right. What was my best pack? Well, obviously, my recent Prime Icon pack, which I put on Instagram, that came up with Del Piero, which was pretty good. But I also packed gold Messi recently, 94 rated, but untradeable. Who are my favorite FIFA YouTubers, Robbie? Definitely Nepenthes. I say Elite over in the States. Nick Run the Foot Market. I like those guys. I quite like watching Nepenthes play as well. I think he kind of plays fair when you watch him. He does a lot of drafts. I don't do too much draft. That's another way of gaining packs for practically nothing. You enter a draft for about 15,000. You can play it online. You can play solo. Sometimes you get very little back. Sometimes you get loads back. Who we got? 5-star. How often do I play from Ed? That's a really, really good. Moments Ramsey lacks pace, Robbie. Yeah, absolutely. Stick a shadow on him if you want him to be a defensive midfielder. If you want to play further forward, stick a hunter on him. Obvious stuff. Just, stick the right. There's others as well, Hawk, Sniper. But actually, I'd go for. I'll probably, because I'm playing in midfield and I don't want him to get forward and score lots of goals, I'll probably stick a shadow on him, gives him extra pace, a bit of better defending if he's going to play in the centre of the park, and therefore he can play anywhere from cam to box CM to CDM without changing things. What was the one I just picked up? Do I like Nintendo? I love Nintendo. I think Nintendo is fantastic, especially with Wii Sports, Wii Sports Resort, Tanks. What a game! So frustrating, but an amazing game. So I play on average an hour a day. So some days I don't get that hour in, as you can imagine, but I save it up. So I make sure over the course of a week, I probably only play Some weeks I might cheat a bit, particularly on Sunday night if I'm trying to finish squad battles to get up to gold 1, or if I'm playing rivals where I try and finish really strong on a Wednesday to make sure the Thursdays always take untradeable to kind of double the number of packs. And then if I get something that I've got a duplicate of, I either have to ditch it or I kind of ping the other one into transfers, sell it. Always sell at a reasonable price. Don't leave stuff kind of hanging around. If it's only worth 700, check out obviously Footbin, check out what the price is, sell at the price. If it's something you don't want to get rid of, don't get rid of it. It's fine, just hang on to it. It's another recommendation for FIFA. They've come up with some ridiculous things this year on the season objectives. The tifos, the themes, the badges, some of them just look so childish and so amateur, has no interest. Some are quite funny. But even the ball, when you had a kind of a kitty theme going on, and then you had a ball of wool that you could use as a ball. Now, one day I strangely let my daughter on to kind of play with my team in terms of customize the setup. She put them into a pink kit, as you'd imagine. She changed the theme to kind of pink kitties and flamingos, She set the ball to a ball of wool. I went on, played, forgetting I'd let her do that. Played this game. This ball of wool was bouncing all over the place. It was ridiculous. I've never played such a weird game. I don't know what the other player could see. This was a rivals game. I won the game 3-0, but I just laughed all the way through it. It was just the most ridiculous thing ever. I would say bring back the kind of classic retro kicks and make sure as you go through and you get to a certain point and season objective to say, okay, we've got classic kits. One of my favorites, like the classic Paris Saint-Germain kits, some of the old kind of like Derby County in England, so the old AC Milan kits. There's some beautiful kits out there. Let people go through and say, right, here's your kit. Here's 3 Italian clubs. Here's a retro kit. Pick that one. So they used to like that. So I really liked FIFA 16, 17, maybe up to 18. Last year wasn't so good. This year's gameplay is awful. So we're still kind of all tied into the game, but the kind of stuff is awful. Have you watched Nep's Rage compilation? It is a great video. I do like it a lot. Shadow's well expensive. Just wait to pick them up. Honestly, if you just take Rory, just take untradables for all your rivals, and obviously, and just keep them. And if you get them, then you can sell them for like 5 to 10k. Great. But when you get them untradeable, just keep everything stores up as long as you just keep taking the rewards and keep drip feeding in. Ivan's in. How many pull-ups can I do? Oh, Ivan, back in the day, a lot. These days, I struggle to do one. Callum, I play on PS4. The other thing I'd like them to do is then bring back retro balls that they used to have, so you could play. So again, season objectives. Don't do the odd tifo. That's fine. Some people like that, although some grounds kind of tifo. What's the best ground? It's got to be the one in Atlanta, the Mercedes-Benz. Is that the arena or the stadium? There's the one of each, but it's the one in Atlanta. It's phenomenal. But the most phenomenal thing about it is that because it's part astro, part grass, there are no lines. So unlike all the other pitches that people play on, and there's some great arenas and pitches where they've got all the lines. I think it really throws the opponent playing on that because there's actually no lines on the pitch vertically or horizontally or even diagonally. So I actually really love playing the Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta. So that's my favorite ground. Have I ever played with any students before? So Ed, here's a confession. One of the reasons why I started playing FIFA again kind of more seriously and started dedicating myself to doing an hour a day, and I promise you can play for an hour and just get in 1 or 2 games with some SBCs or 3 or 4 games. There's a lot of faffing around that, you'll do. Your parents say, right, you've got an hour, and you think, what can I do in an hour? You can do loads in an hour. You can play 3 or 4 games. You can play 2 games, get an SBC done. There's loads you can do, particularly if you do your SBC straight off Footbin. Just check the cheap solution and just do it. Just bite the bullet and go for it. So what happened was I was in a charity thing at my last school. We played against some students. We were playing doubles. A friend and I who played FIFA. We went 1-0 up. We were really full of ourselves. We started trying to perform tricks, little rainbows and drag backs. We got kicked 5-1. We got absolutely whipped. They came back, they got frustrated, and they absolutely killed us. And one of the rules in the school was that in any form of football, whether it's playground, whether it's football in the common room, whether it was online, if you got beaten by 3 or more goals, you had to make a public apology for being so bad. So my next assembly was for me and Mr. Jackson to stand up and apologize for being so bad. But I promised that I'd never be so bad again. But by the time it came around for me to have that game, I'd left my last school, I joined KGS, and never really had the chance to play against any of you guys. What do I think is going to happen to the Prem this year? Oh, Jenny Taylor, do you have a mic? No. I hope you can hear me okay. Salt and Vinegar, I stopped playing FIFA in December because the gameplay is so dead. Yeah. FIFA 17 was the GOAT, double GOAT from Roy. Yeah. What's going to happen to the Prem? Don't know. I think what they'll probably do is play a shorter season next season. So I think what they will do is finish this one out, maybe playing some games behind closed doors, and then finish it off. I think they have to. It would be funny if Liverpool didn't win the Premier League because of it after 30 years. But I've seen some amazing memes and videos about that. But actually, no, poor old Liverpool. They deserve it. They absolutely deserve it. My worst moment of the season was watching them lose to Watford, because I'm sorry if some of you out there are Watford fans. Being a Palace fan, no love lost with Brighton or Watford or any of those guys. Would it be too personal to ask for your PSN? Probably, Callum. I think what you mean is like, what's my username so you could ping me and we could play. Yeah, I'm not going to kind of release that just yet because I could get swamped with people. Did I ever play real life football, Marco? Yes, Marco, I played real life football. So when I was young, I played loads and played quite well. I was in some really good teams. One of those players probably just got away with playing fullback, occasional kind of centre back, sweeper, libero position. I wasn't too shabby. I was all right. But when I went off to try and play properly, shall we say, did play a few non-league games, but when I went off to try and play properly, it was never going to happen. I wasn't strong enough, big enough, quick enough. I was okay at playing, but yeah. Anyway, much better at being a teacher, promise you. But I played a bit of cricket and a bit of rugby as well. So rugby, I used to get massacred. I was kind of fullback, just because I could get out of the way and kick the ball quite well. Really like that game. Never really played hockey, I've got to admit, to the KGS fraternity, but I do try. I kind of have a little knock around with the stick sometimes. I've been looking at these challenges online, and apart from Mr. Lavery's cricket challenges, I've been looking at the hockey challenges as well. Might give some of those a go. Do you do career mode? I don't now. I kind of try to get back into career mode, but it's tough actually. If you always played career mode, fine. But since I switched to Ultimate Team, I find it tough to get back into career mode. I think I might have to copy Johnny Sports, some of his ideas of picking up a really interesting team. But actually, you play with a different head on, I think, when you play Ultimate Team. Jenny's a Watford fan. Jenny, I'm so sorry. I have to say, one of the people we love to hate is someone like Troy Deeney. But if I was a Watford fan, I'd love him. He would be, I always say this to people, he'd be your idol because he's like Mr. Watford. And he's amazing. He gives everything every game, and fans give him abuse. I mean, we give him some. He's always in the referee's ear. But Watford, and actually, if we had players like when he's fit, Delafeu, people like that, amazing. I don't know what it is about Watford, but Watford and Palace, it just doesn't go. Maybe it's the black and yellow stripes versus the red and blue stripes. I always think that we lost the replay against Man United back in the 90s because we played, having had a phenomenal final. Ian Wright came on, scored a couple of goals. Man U equalised towards the end, went to a replay because we played in black and yellow stripes. Why did we do that? What a strange kit to wear. I'm sure that is. He's a god. He is. Leeds need to be promoted. You're absolutely right, Will. Yeah, Leeds do need to be promoted. We need to get them back in. They should write this season off. That wasn't fair. Will Pengilly's on the chat, just tuned in. What have we talked about so far? Quite a lot. 100 Club Rooney. Yeah, okay. Palace are a team I'd love to see relegated. Thanks, Jenny. That's really kind of you. Rob says, so has a hell of a team. I really do. I've also got teams, because of the nature of the game this year, it's changed hugely. I think up to last year, you could just focus on having one good team with quite a bank of reserves. And what I had found this year quite quickly is do lots of cheap SBCs to give yourself a reasonable squad in the top divisions, because there's lots of different challenges. Let me get to often there's a challenge around an Argentinian squad or a Brazilian squad. When you get the Brazilian challenge, okay, fine. I've got people like David Luiz at centre back. I can have Neto in goal. It's fine. In the midfield, I've got the Chinese. Who's the guy? Paulinho from the Chinese league. But up front, just go for low-rated but quick players who can score. So left side, Vinicius Junior. Through the middle, Alex Teixeira, again from the Chinese league. So Vinicius Junior, obviously from Real Madrid. Chinese league, can't remember the name of the team, Alex Teixeira. But he can score and he can run. and he's like 79 rated. The advantage of having these lower rated players is that obviously you then might play against a lower rated side. You all know kind of the bronze subs bench method. You put a low bench on to reduce the rating of your side, therefore you get a low rated team. I don't believe that's always true. I think it just depends on who's out there. But you often play with these players up front. And Guillaume, who's now in Turkey, was he China or Saudi league, but he's now gone to Turkish league. So he's 75 rated on the right-hand side. He's a right midfielder. So you've got Vinicius Junior left wing. You've got striker Texeira. Then on the right side, your right midfield, you've got Guillaume. They can all score and they can all run. They're all lightning and they're great on the ball, as most Brazilians are prone to be in FIFA and sometimes in real life. So that gives you a phenomenal advantage. People talk about Lucas Moura, but obviously he's high rated. And I would say some of these players are just as good. I think they're phenomenal. So when you're playing a Brazilian side, don't just pick your top Brazilian players, your highest rated. Unfortunately, the meta in FUT 20 or FIFA 20 is pace. That's number one. Stamina, number two. And one of the things I think FIFA should get right is have a mix of metas. So actually heading this year, atrocious. There's a current challenge on to get, I think, Bellarabi. You've got to score with 5 crosses from Bundesliga players. You can't do it. Well, you can, and I will, and I've got a few in the bag, and I'll get that finished probably today or tomorrow. But it's so difficult, and the number of headers that just ping off, like every player's got a 50p head. It just goes off in all directions. It's ridiculous. And now, okay. Have I used Gelson Martins? I have used Gelson Martins. Really liked him. Never lost a header. Yeah, well, you never lose a header at the back, but it's difficult to score a header. Rory loves Texeira. Thank you, Rory. I like that. So I play most of my games on squad battles on world class or legendary. Because that's where you pick up the most points. You can win if it's a challenge. Most of the challenges anyway ask you to play on world class or legendary. You can play against teams that are only 60, 70 overall rated, but even the ones on 80 rated are quite beatable on kind of world class, if not legendary. I don't think I've ever played on Ultimate, but I tend not to. But my entry to the game, and if you've never played before, if you don't do beginner, but do amateur, then semi-pro, then kind of, I don't know, professional, just hover around those. And actually, the higher the rated the team, the lower you go. So if there are teams 80-something, you can go back down to beginner. If it's a low 80s, high 70s, play on semi-pro. And if it's a kind of a mid to low 70s down to the 60s, play on pro. You just pick up more points. You get to know the game. Play against better sides. You play the game. Challenge yourself. And that's why I never rage quit. Never rage quit, even if I'm getting beat 5, 6, 7-0. How are we doing for time? So we've got about 2 more minutes left till we get to half past, and that's probably a good time to call it. Do I ever play FIFA with other teachers? No. So I'm going to talk about it. So I'm going to talk about pro clubs, and I'm thinking about getting into pro clubs next. I've heard Mrs. Brackley gets elite 1 week in, week out. She probably does. Mr. Ricketts has a cold ultimate. Yeah, Mark, I imagine you're absolutely right there. Opinions on Shearer. Don't like him. Nothing personal. Mr. Big got wicked skills on left wing. Yeah. Who was better, Lampard or Gerrard? Good question. I'd love to say Lampard because he's a London boy, but I don't believe it's true. I think Lampard got some better stats, but I think Gerrard was the better player, ultimately. Messi or Ronaldo? Messi probably the most naturally gifted in some respects. Ronaldo for the sheer determination and hard work to be the best in the world. And one little tip about Ronaldo, I don't know if this is apocryphal, but you see a lot of tattoos on Messi. I'm not a fan of tattoos, by the way. Ronaldo never had a tattoo because he wouldn't want to run the risk of any form of blood poisoning, not for himself, but because he does give blood. I think it's once a week or once a month, probably once a month. And he would never want a tattoo because that would prevent him from doing so for at least a period. So Ronaldo, I think he's one of those kind of good guys. Just my take on it. I don't know. Another dub from. Thank you very much, Rob. Yeah, I'd like to put a dub in the box if we can for tonight. Ahmed or Mr. Halls, take Ahmed every day if you're going to play with him. He's a wicked player. Out of us lot, who would you most want to play? All of you. Maybe because you guys are in sixth form. Maybe when you've all left, we should set up pro clubs and play together. That would be wicked. Guys, you've been fantastic. Thank you for all the questions. Thank you for kind of joining in. If there's any other questions, if I can put a pack opening up on Instagram, I will. If I can kind of feed you any advice, if anybody's like looking to play or doing anything that says, would you play this player or this player, or how much would you do for that? I'm happy. Today we've just shared kind of bits and bobs. But it's wonderful to know you're all out there. I hope you're all keeping well, staying safe. Yeah, so say FIFA, kind of not work well, be happy, not stay well, be happy, play well and be happy. Headmaster out.